Hello everybody, welcome to Freeform Saturday on the Beading Dreams stream. I can adjust that back down because I'm not as tall as Heather is. So welcome in, I'm so happy that you guys are all here. So Freeform Saturday is something that we do every other week, and I am going to work on this project for you all today. So this is a pair of earrings, and that's obviously not working, so we're going to do this instead. Nope, that's not working either. That's just delightful. Bear with. Okay, there we go. Hooray. So we're going to work on the second one of these earrings. So this is a pair of earrings that I'm working on for a client, and I have to drop them off this evening on my way home from work, which is why I'm working on them on stream. They were not my design originally. They were a copy of a pair of earrings that she already owned, and she wanted them made in a different color, so we did that for her. Now she wanted them made in another different color. Yay! Hi Keiko! Hi, good vibes! Good vibes! What kind of animals did you get? The basic premise here is we've got a chain that's kind of the central spine, as it were, of the earring, and then attached to that chain we have these little units that are three wire wrapped crystals that have simple loops at the bottom, and then they're joined by a double wire wrapped crystal that joins to the chain. And as you can see, they are very long. They are shoulder dusters. That is intentional. This client really likes the extreme types of earrings. So there are 17 sets of crystals on this earring, which means that we've got 51 plus 17 crystals on there. So there's a solid amount of crystals on each earring. I do have them on an earring post because that is the customer's preference, and like I said, I'm using a chain to hold all of that on there. This is a really pretty kind of tanzanite color crystal because she wanted purple, and this was lilac specifically, so this was the color that she picked. So I've already done for the second earring, and actually overproduced on this, so oops, that's 30 minutes of my life I'll never get back. But I've already made all of the little dangles that have this single wire wrap and this simple loop at the bottom. So I've already done all of that, so now what I have to do is I've got to take my remaining loose crystals and I've got to link these all together into my sets of 3, and then I need to figure out what the actual heck I did with my piece of chain, which I think is still over there. So I need to link them onto my piece of chain. Also, I'm still waiting to see what new animals Good Vibes has acquired. There it is. I shall not proceed any further with the stream until I know what animals Good Vibes has that are new. That's not actually true because I have to drop these off in like 2 hours. But so I've got my loose crystals, I've got my wire wrap crystals already. So this is going to be a marathon in basic wire wrapping. So hi Lori. So if you need to watch a whole lot of basic wire wrapping, guess what? I have got you covered. Because that and simple loops are literally the only technique that's used in this. So again, I've done all of the simple looping and single basic wire wrapping that I need to do for these earrings. So what my task is going to be this evening on stream is going to be to take my little simple loop and wire wrapped components, put them in sets of 3, and join them with 2 basic wire wraps, one to gather the 3 onto a single crystal, and then one to gather them onto the chain. And yes, you can tell that I've already done one earring because my fingers have lines of wire tarnish all over them, because that is what happens when you do an excessive amount of wire wrapping. So I have my trusty tools. I've got my round nose, I've got my wire cutters. I actually have several chain nose. So I've got a chain nose here, and again, a nice sharp and tiny wire cutter. So, and then I've got some 26 gauge sterling silver wire. That's what I'm using to wrap these guys. So I'm just gonna so here's the thing when you're doing, and I'm just gonna start this. I'm gonna talk while I'm doing. Okay, actually, couple of things. Number one, I don't wire wrap. I think we've had this issue. I don't wire wrap the way that I teach wire wrapping, because the way that I learned how to wire wrap is a little bit weird and is very difficult to teach. It's very difficult to comprehend. So I may be wire wrapping a little differently than you're used to seeing me do. And that's because the woman who taught me how to wire wrap, while she was a delightful human, did not always have the most straightforward ways of doing things. So I learned some things that were very roundabout and then practiced them to the point where they're kind of ingrained in my muscles that way. I still prefer the way that I teach wire wrapping as far as just a way to pick up the technique, because again, I think that it is much easier. Now I'm gonna take a minute and I just want to double count. I know I counted 17, but I'm like 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Haha! I counted incorrectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from, and this is, if you're going to be on stream rambling and wire wrapping, this is a really good way to kind of keep yourself on task, is I'm going to take 18 beads of my straight crystals, and I'm going to count them out. So that way I don't have to think about it. I just know that when I'm done with these, I'm getting to be done with my earrings. So 3, 7, okay, so I'm going to put the rose. I did not see a message, good vibes, but we all know that it's not always no. I do not think that message came through. Good vibes. So we are still waiting with bated breath. Okay, so I've done my one wire wrap like so. And actually, I did not start this in the appropriate fashion at all, because what I should have done is I should have started by attaching the chain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one that I just made, I'm going to put a crystal on it, and then I'm going to wire wrap it. I'm going to wire wrap it, not her. It's not gendered, it's a thing. And I'm going to just cut this and leave myself a tail, and I'm going to come back to that one in a minute. So I'm going to now... Oh, 2 pixie goats. Okay, that sounds like possibly as much mischief as the large goats, just on a smaller scale. But I just feel like goats equals mischief. This is what my acquaintance with you, Good Vibes, has taught me, is that goats equal mischief. Either big mischief or small mischief, but all of the mischief. Okay, so now I'm going to do what I should have started with, which is making my basic wire wrap loop. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put 2 of my little crystal bits on there, and then I'm going to put my chain on there, and then I'm going to do 2 more little crystal bits, or sorry, 1 more little crystal bit. And what this is actually going to wind up being is this is going to wind up being the part that attaches to the ear post. Okay, Good Vibes has 2 pixie goats and a rat now.
Be right there.
I will say I never got the aversion to rats.
Me neither.
Cause
I have one I don't want.
what?
There's a mouse in my house.
Oh, do you want to borrow an Elton or a Mamie?
They'd be better hunters than a Samoa. Or a Georgie.
Hi, Corvus.
That should be Georgie's job. He's the man of the house.
But I mean, I can bring a Mamie to visit if you need the mouse demoustified. Okay, so now what I have is I've got this, and then we're gonna attach that to my earring post. Corvus, I sent you an audio file. Did you get it? It was just like 20 minutes ago. See, like I said, I never quite got the aversion to rats, and I don't mind mice either. I know that mices are not Heather's favorite things, but I think they're cute. Not that I really want them in my house, like pooping on my floors.
Mice.
Expected mice. Mm-hmm. It's unexpected mice that are the problem.
Unexpected mice are not okay.
Okay. I feel like unexpected mice should be on the button list. Did you? I didn't see it.
No, I don't really love the tails either, but I can deal with them if they are expected at least.
Oh, well, yeah, so, yes, well, that was our second take, Corvus, because I had some problems with the audio recorder.
It's true.
I'm not that good with technology, it turns out. I'm sorry, that's an adorable image, vibes. I love it, and you make my heart happy. It has been pointed out to me and observed on the internet that, squirrels are basically just rats with different tails.
True.
And everybody thinks squirrels are cute. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to this little one that I started prematurely, and now we're going to anchor this one on there. And so the pattern of this earring is not really patterny. It has this kind of spirally look to it, so it's not really symmetrically put onto the chain. So I'm just going to kind of add them where I want to, and then once I've got about 2/3 of the way through, I'm going to look at it and see where I need to add more. I will say, when I first went to college, I did try to keep a mouse in my dorm room closet, and for the sake of all the mouses in the world, I'm going to say don't do that. The people across the hall from me, though, had a rabbit for a while, and it was litter box trained. So it would hop around their room, and then sometimes they would let it out, and it would hop up and down the hall. Which is probably what got them busted for having a rabbit.
The hopping up and down the hall? Yeah.
Yeah. Because, RAs, oh, there's a rabbit in the hall. Oh, how did that get there?
Not quite their natural habitat, but...
I mean, honestly, if it had been a squirrel, it would have been easier to explain, because there were so many squirrels on campus, and they were, like, the most tame/belligerent squirrels ever. Like, they wouldn't just come up to you and hang out. They'd come up to you and they'd be like, hey, you have food. Give now.
Food now.
They would literally put their little paws on you, be like, food now. So, yeah, if any squirrels are ever going to take over the world, it's definitely going to be the University of Houston squirrels. There was actually, okay, so now I'm going to wrap this closed. There was actually at the campus bookstore, so the mascot for the University of Houston, which is where I went to college, is a cougar, but they actually had in the bookstore, and I have one, it actually lives here at Beading Dreams, stuffed squirrels with University of Houston shirts on them, because the squirrels were such a part of campus life.
Where is the squirrel?
It should be underneath the cash register with all the rest of the animals.
Oh, I have to go look.
There was a legend on campus that the black squirrels, the melanated squirrels, were the results of either Leland Stanford Jr. acquired a pair of European squirrels and they repopulated the Bay Area.
Wow.
Or a genetic mutation experiment escaped. Neither of which is true. Black squirrels are actually really common.
And not as in taxidermied corvus, as in toy. Like a stuffed toy, not an actual dead squirrel.
Good vibes they are a genetic mutation, but they're natural genetic mutation. They just have extra melanin. So just look around enough and eventually you'll see one.
I've actually never seen a melanated squirrel. Where I grew up in Wisconsin, we had red squirrels and gray squirrels. And the red squirrels were like the perky and like zippy ones, and the gray squirrels were the ones like, I'm gonna post up at this bird feeder and I'm gonna eat 7 meals.
Places where they had both?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, okay, so Good Vibes, all of
I
these,
saw a red squirrel time I moved to Texas.
all of these
I didn't even know they had them down
were
here.
actually
Yeah, they had
gray,
red
brown,
squirrels,
or
gray
red squirrels.
and,
They were just mutated
chipmunks.
ones.
Yeah, all we ever had were gray squirrels and chipmunks. I didn't even know red squirrels existed.
Got it.
Here. Or red, brown, whatever they call them.
Mm-hmm.
They're
But yeah,
smaller, too,
they're
gray
smaller.
squirrels.
Yes, they're smaller and faster, and I think have faster metabolisms.
Well,
Because my grandparents, the gray squirrels that frequented their yards had like love handles. I've never seen a squirrel with love handles before that.
Yeah, they can have a fat squirrel contest like they have the fat bear.
Yeah. But yes, the squirrels on campus were, and there were really only gray squirrels on the U of H campus. I think they had just muscled out every other group of possible, competitors for the Taco Bell from the student union, and they were some kind of squirrel mafia, I think.
Squirrels have crazy big other things too.
They do, and I did. I fancied myself for a little while when I first got to college, a photographer, which I can take a picture, but I have no actual talent for photography. And so I would walk around, and the University of Houston campus is actually very pretty. It's not an old school. Yay! Hi, Silvern. It's not an old school campus. It's a more modern campus, but there's some really cool art, and there's lovely. The library is really pretty, and there's lovely plantings and things. So I would walk around campus with my film camera, by the way, taking photos, and I did wind up with some squirrel ball photos.
It's hard not to in the spring. I mean, they're just there. They're out there, and they're everywhere you want to be.
So I'm using sterling silver wire corvus, which means that it will tarnish, because that's what sterling silver does. You can polish it with a polishing cloth. There are different types of sterling. Some of them tarnish less quickly. It also depends on how you wear the items and how you store the items. The more you wear them, the faster they're going to tarnish, because the more they're exposed to air. And if you store them in an airtight bag, they're going to obviously tarnish less quickly, because the reason it's called oxidation is because it's a reaction to oxygen. Don't leave them in the bathroom. Diane is absolutely correct about that.
The bathroom is really the enemy of all jewelry. You can't drop anything on the floor. It's humid in there for oxidation. It's too hot sometimes for some stones. They don't love it.
Mm-hmm. Orchids, however, do love the bathroom.
Yes.
So keep your orchids in the bathroom and not your jewelry.
So does a pothos, snake plant, and whatever that tropical plant is.
Yes.
They are happy. Nice.
Why do we always wind up talking about food?
Well, it's dinner time. It's dinner time for us. I don't know why.
It's
Good
not dinner
Vibes
time for Good Vibes. It's like 3 a.m.
So snack time.
Snack time, yes. It does. 4 a.m. does seem to be snack time for Good Vibes. It's true. So I'm just continuing with the wire wrapping of these. This is a very methodical type of earring. I mean, it's not complicated. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. Which makes it mindless in both the good way and the bad way. It means that, you can just kind of do it without thinking about it. It also means that it's just, very rote and repetitive.
And Corvus, if you look at Allison's fingers there, you'll see that she is, even though this wire is shiny, she's still polishing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still have wire tarnish all over my fingies.
Every time I do Viking knit, I look like a tiger. A tiger.
Let's see. So I heard y'all had an awesome class last night. I was being run over by the Taylor Swift bus. I swear to God that it came and it ran over me and then it went away that way. It was a really great event.
So watch out for it, everyone, that way.
Yeah, it was a great event, but there was a Taylor Swift tribute band. Sorry, they're not a cover band, they're a tribute band. And they were loud, as bands are, and then there were 35 little Swifties running around, and sometimes literally running from one side of the ballroom to the other. And lots of bracelet making fun. We did 57 bracelets in 2 hours, which is a lot. And the table that they gave me was not quite sufficiently sized for what I needed, so there were some misadventures, like somebody dumped over a bottle of water into the charm tray, and somebody, there was cake. There were some incidents with cake because there was just no room. So anyway, overall it was a success, and I think all of the little Swifties enjoyed their bracelets, so that's good.
That is the important thing.
Yes. Actually, the important thing is that they all go tell their parents what a great time they had and how much they want Beading Dreams at their birthday party.
Yes.
That's the important thing.
That is also the important thing. You are not wrong.
Birthday parties are, 50% about actual revenue and 50% about, that's 110%, 50% about downstream revenue, not residue.
So Corvus, there is actually an alloy of silver called Argentium silver. It's a different alloy, so it does not tarnish as quickly. It's designed to tarnish less quickly.
Right.
But it also costs a bunch.
Yes.
So really just keeping it in a bag that's closed and not in the bathroom is going to help a lot.
Yeah. Definitely not in the bathroom.
Also, polishing cloths are your friends.
Yes, is true. And they also even sell anti-tarnish paper and anti-tarnish tabs that you can put into the bag as well. If you really, really want to.
If you want to store things for a very long term.
So I will say that one of my favorite tricks when I'm making an earring like this is I like to work with it upside down, because so this right here, this is the top, so I'm actually working with it this way, because when I work with it this way, all of the things that I have put on, they fall down like they're supposed to, and they obscure the chain. So if you flip it upside down, then you actually can see the links of chain that are upcoming, and I find it a little easier to work that way. So that's just my little trick when I'm doing big cluster earrings like this, is I tend to work upside down. And then if I'm trying to count or something like I was doing before, I will hold them like so everything is kind of falling down in the same way. It makes it a lot easier to count. So just remember that you can manipulate the work however you need to make it easy for you. You don't have to let the work manipulate you most of the time.
It may be bossy, but it is smaller than you are.
Right.
Unlike me, I'm both bossy and bigger than you are.
And yeah, Corvus, if you just Google anti-tarnish paper or anti-tarnish tabs, there's literally paper that you can wrap your stuff in, or little tabs that are like, 1 inch by 1 inch that you can pop into a baggie to help your jewelry tarnish even less quickly.
Good vibes. Lori's just teasing. She's wrapping the 24 hours around. But I understand. I mean, I don't often eat that much during the day either. I'm definitely more left to my own devices, more of a night eater.
Okay, so Cher, I haven't heard about the class last night except that it was good. So how was it? Aside from good. Was it exciting? Was it thrilling? Were there, daring escapes and car chases?
Car chases in a class run by me?
Well, okay then.
Although that sounds like a fun class. I don't know how that would work.
I mean, it looked like
fun.
Keiko was chasing some cars with her pen with the notes that she took.
I think that was Corvus.
Was it Corvus?
Corvus took notes. I know.
Okay, cool. Well, yay notes.
Maybe Keiko did too.
Okay. Corvus is the one who took notes. Yay. So, I heard that we want Heather back for another bronze clay lesson. So, we will make that happen. And then I never did get around to teaching the torch-fired silver lesson because I realized the day of the class, as some of you may remember, that I didn't have the right silver clay. So I will take care of that at some point and do a torch-fired silver lesson as well.
And Lori, that one's for you. Because that's the one I was talking about where you don't need a kiln.
Mm-hmm. Yay!
Yay!
10.
Words became hard. And sadly, it was not from drinking. I was drinking fruit punch again, so just words became hard.
Sometimes words just become hard. Sometimes there's just too much doing talking.
Yeah, I ran out of them.
So you may, if you've been paying attention, you may notice my little cheat here, which is I'm actually holding with my round nose pliers. That is a cheat that I use when I have a limited amount of space in my loop, because my round nose pliers come to a narrower point than my chain nose pliers do. And also the inside surface area that grips is smaller because it's round. So it's easier to grasp in tiny spaces, but you've got to be careful. Because if you grab too hard with your round nose pliers, you can literally press or cut through your wire with the pliers. So if you're going to do that little cheat, you just have to make sure that you're holding just firmly enough that everything is secure, but not so firmly that you're actually pressing through the wire. Which is something that, you can experiment with. You're probably going to bust some wire in the process, and, in my opinion, that's how you learn.
Yes.
Not everyone shares that opinion, but I do. It's my stream, so neener, neener, neener.
I maybe wouldn't experiment with it when you're at this point and you're attaching all of your wire wrapping.
No,
But silver wire, even sterling silver wire, is really not that expensive, especially with the amount you're using, even at today's prices. So don't feel like you have to be limited to cheapo stuff just because you're learning.
And I will say that sometimes, and we do a lot of learning on cheapo stuff here, because that's what you do. But I do feel like sometimes learning, like once you get past the initial baby steps, sometimes bumping up to the better wire actually facilitates the learning process. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks that, but like I would much rather work with sterling wire than craft wire.
It behaves so much better.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Lori.
Ooh, yay. That's fantastic.
But yeah, if you are learning with better materials is going to be easier for you. And the beads are all reusable. So if everything goes horribly, horribly wrong, honestly, with 26 gauge wire, you're out like $10 for an entire
just maybe
pair of
don't
earrings.
use 26 gauge, like 14 karat gold.
Yeah, not for your learning process.
But the softness of craft wire and copper wire, I find, can be a hindrance because it doesn't have quite as much body, and so you've got to be even more precise with your grip and your pliers to get it stable enough that you can get a decent wrap. It's also possible that I'm just a snob.
She taught me how
To
So
be a
I'm
snob?
too. Yeah.
Fair. Apparently it's how we do on the Beading Dreams stream.
It's okay. We came by it honestly. Because it's just better.
Yeah, that happens, Corvus. And then you start wanting finer cutters that cut more nicely, because you'll notice that I'm doing a minimum amount of actually tucking in ends on these because of my wire cutters, that they cut so close. And then you're going to want better pliers, even better pliers, and then even better cutters. And then you're going to start wanting other tools. It's really a slippery slope. And you're already on it, so you know you're screwed at this point. Like there's no getting off of the slippery slope. You're just going to be buying tools and beads forever. I know, these are Swanstrom. These are the mini Swanstroms, and I love the Swanstrom. They're actually made in the USA. Rio sells them. They are not cheap, but they are lovely, and I think they're fabulous. Making sure I didn't cut the wrong thing there, because that at this point would be I would have to mute the stream and do some cursing. Oh, that's what I didn't do on the thing, Corvus. I didn't put a cursing warning on it. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Corvus. Or not Corvus. Thank you, Lori. I mean, thank you, Corvus, too, for so many things. So, like I said, this earring design really is just repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat until you're done. I know, I meant to, I forgot to. Yeah, we can do that. I forgot to write it into the script. At least, yes, at least now I've extra practiced, so I do need to write it into the script.
We wrote several things into the script more than once, so.
Yes, it's true. Okay, so just checking in with my progress here. So these are my 2 earrings, and so I've got pretty consistent fullness on both of them. So basically, I'm doing a pretty good job of making a second earring that will match with the first earring that I made. So I just need to continue on and keep adding more of the crystal bits, and I do want to take a minute and I'm going to cut it to length so I know when to stop, because otherwise I'm just going to keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping, and then all of a sudden I'm going to have one earring that's like this long, and that's going to be annoying, because once again that would be another 30 minutes of my life that I cannot get back. Okay, so now I've got it cut to length, so now I know how much I need to fill in. So now we're going to continue on. So something interesting about this type of earring is sometimes, even though you count the same number of little dealy bobs, one earring to the other, if you're not being super precise at placing them, which as you've noticed I am not being, sometimes you don't actually have the same amount of crystals or stones on one earring as you do on the other, and I find that what I think is most important is that you have a consistent look to the earrings, so, or whatever you're making. So if I've got to put one extra cluster on one earring to make it look similar to the other, I'm okay with that. That I know makes some people's eyeballs twitch, but that's how I usually do it. Which means that it's always a good idea to have a few extra stones standing by just in case. And since I accidentally wrapped an extra 20 stones that I didn't need, I shouldn't have a problem with that. It's true, just in general, staying home is cheaper than going out. Because out, there are things to acquire. Well, I was going off of memory, which, as you know with me, is never a good idea. And I thought that there were 20 groups of 3 on each, and there's actually only 18. That's actually only 12 extra stones. That's not nearly as bad. But again, you start working, and you go and there you go. Oh, so how much snow? You said like 10 inches or something, Lori, was what you were supposed to get? That's a lot. But good for the water table, good for the drought, good for the rivers and the lakes and all of that. Okay, so I'm just continuing on, so you can see I'm making my way.
Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to.
Don't go chasing waterfall earrings, is that what you're saying?
Yep.
So I'm getting close to the end here. Oh, wow.
Oh,
got it. That was last week. Today was a beautiful day in Dallas, which means the Beading Dreams was not busy. So thanks to everyone who post-shopped the sale and who paid their invoices. So again, the upside down trick really is my go-to with this, because it also lets me see exactly how much I've got left and kind of judge where I need to place these last ones. I've got 5 left after this one. And once I've gotten to the bottom, I may wind up putting some up in the top of this. Once again, I'm just gonna hold it up and see how it looks. These earrings are very long, Corvus. They are from the earring post. They're about 4 inches long from the earring post. So they are verging on being actual shoulder dusters. This client definitely likes things that are bold. So she, like I said, she loves this earring. She's had us make it for her now in 3 colors and wants more. But there's no reason that you couldn't do a shorter version of this, because not everyone wants a 4-inch long earring. Yes, that they are. Though she owns an art gallery, so I kind of feel like her life is a living statement piece. Well, and the good news about smaller ones is they're less work, because you don't have to do as much wire wrapping. So I originally did 20 sets for each earring, and that was more than I needed. So it turned out that I needed 18 sets per earring. So that's 18 sets of 3, and then per earring, and then 18 of the little links per earring as well. So if you were doing shorter ones, you could probably cut that in half, at least. I love that it's a fat rat. That's awesome. Because why would one have any other kind of rat?
Yeah, they all have to be fat.
I figured. I didn't think that the rat had grown a table, because that would be weird. I feel like I should be providing scintillating conversation, but it's Saturday.
I mean, why? There are fat rats to talk about.
Talked out. Oh my gosh, last night. And then I kept, every time I had to talk over the band, I'd start coughing, which is bad, because the band was playing the whole time. So luckily, a very kind-hearted man at the bar gave me a bottle of water. Saved my life. And then the mom, very kindly and, generously at the end of the night, she was like, "Oh, did you get anything to eat?" I'm like, "When was there time, lady? I was buried in children." But it was very sweet of her. And then she asked if I wanted a plate of food to go, and at that point I was like, "No, please, I want to go home and be with my cats and not listen to Taylor Swift." Uh-oh. Corvus is falling asleep, I think is what I'm seeing. She says I'm relaxing her too much. Is like too ASMR? So the cover band was not bad. And the lead singer, her wardrobe game was pretty on point. So I have to give her credit for that. And she did 3 wardrobe changes during the 2-hour set, which is a lot.
Not as many as the real T-Swift.
Well, yes, but this band, even though I'm fairly certain they were not inexpensive, I don't think their production budget is quite the same as Tay-Tay's.
And they probably don't have people backstage to facilitate said wardrobe purchases. I mean, wardrobe switches.
Yes, exactly. But they did a good job. They hit all the hits. Their set was very nicely paced. Unlike Hall & Oates. Just saying. I will be salty about that forever. Ever and ever. And yeah, they did a good job. So if anybody needs a Tay-Swift tribute band, I can point you in the right direction. All right, I got 2 left. Well, R.I.P. to your guitar tuner.
Little bit sounds like, yeah.
Okay, so these are my last 2. So I'm going to hold this up next to the other one and see. Alright, so I really need like one more at the top. So I'm going to, up here at the top, I'm going to find a link and I'm just going to feed that in there. So I'm going to pick this link right there. Yes, so anytime that you're linking something, you need to make a loop first. You make the loop and then you link it onto whatever you are linking it onto. So you can't link it onto anything until you've made the lady with a scarf. And then you link it and then you wrap it.
That is definitely the most common thing that people forget.
Yes, it's true. So yeah, so I lady with a scarf and I wrapped the bottom part with the 3 dangles, but then I laid it with a scarf and then linked this onto the chain and then wrapped. Alright, and I think I need one more like right down here. But yes, that is one of the most common things that people forget, is that in order to link anything on, you've got to have someplace to put it. So you need to have a loop before you try and link it into anything. We're going to go ahead and wrap that. This is the last one. So if you decide to do a pair of earrings like this, know that this is not a, quick 30-minute project. Like, even for me,
it can be a series of quick 30-minute projects.
It could. But even for me, like, it's taken me the entire stream to put together one earring, and I had all of the little dangly bits already done. So, you know, and this is one reason why I don't typically work on one earring and then the other earring. I will typically go back and forth from one earring to the other, and that's because I sometimes have a very short attention span, and I'll finish one earring and I'll be like, I don't want to do another one. So moving back and forth between one earring and the other kind of keeps that problem from happening. But since these are for a client, I don't have a choice. It's not like they're my own earrings where I can just decide not to finish them. That is not an option in this case. But I do still find that it's helpful to work assembly line fashion, which is why I did all of the little dangling parts first, and then I'm assembling the earrings, because it's always faster if you don't have to do too much switching between types of working. All right, and there we go. Did it! I have
Beautiful.
2 very dirty hands and 1 pair of, so I cut the chain the same length, so my earrings are the same length. They're relatively consistent on their fullness, so we're gonna call that an overall win.
There. Oh,
Yep. Nope. Maybe.
don't move. Don't breathe.
I have to breathe, Heather, or I'm gonna suffocate.
Dang it.
So yeah.
Inconvenient.
So 1 pair of very long, very fancy earrings, and they're done. And that means that I can drop them off to the client's house on the way home tonight, and I am super excited by that fact. So that's it for Freeform Saturday. I need to figure out what I'm going to teach next week. So if anybody has any suggestions, I'm happy to hear them. You can post them somewhere in Discord, and I will see them because I will get notified.
Not bronze clay.
Not bronze clay. Heather is not teaching again next week. We're going to have to give her a little bit of a cooling off period.
We'll also be in Vegas.
Also, she'll be in Vegas. So there's that. But not all week, right?
No, I'm not leaving till Friday. So I could teach it on Wednesday.
Okay. So, well, yes, but we'll give you a week off. So I'll figure out when I'm teaching on Wednesday and Friday. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Saturday's Zoom. Thursday's going to be a sale. And that's going to be it for us. So everyone have a great weekend. And sparkly earrings.
Would you want me to do a boho project on Wednesday?
Okay. Cool. You might have a header again on Wednesday. Yay. All right. So that's going to be it for us this evening. And that's going to be it for us for the week. I'm going to go rest my talker and try not to talk to anyone tomorrow that's not a cat. Layered necklaces, like how to layer, like do you want like a curated neck mask tutorial, Corvus, or like what type of layering necklace tutorial would you like, because I can definitely do that. Okay. All right. It is definitely time for Allison to go to bed. Corvus, you can text me the answer to that question if I get on off stream before you answer it on the chat. And I will see you all back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream Wednesday. Or maybe Heather will see you Wednesday at 6 p.m. And then we will do the Saucy Diamond at 7:30. I promise I will not skive off the podcast again this week. Last week was just a lot. So I will see you then. And everyone have a good one. Bye.